All right, so back at it with some more radical equations. All right, so we're going to isolate our radical right here. We're going to add 1 to both sides. We have the square root of 2x plus 5 is equal to x plus 1. Square both sides to cancel the radical. And we saw this in another video where we are squaring two terms, squaring a binomial right here, which means we have to actually FOIL that out. So x plus 1 times x plus 1. First, outside, inside, last gives you x squared plus x plus 1, or x squared plus 2x plus 1. We have an equation with no radicals, but we do have x squared and x terms. So we want to go ahead and get everything on the same side so we can think about factoring. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm also going to subtract 5 and see how I'm just subtracting it right below its like term over here. So I know that those cancel and those cancel, leaving me with 0 equals x squared. Well, 2x minus 2x cancels also, and 1 minus 5 is negative 4. All right, so x squared minus 4, that's a difference of squares. If you remember, just here's kind of our thought process on this. What do you square to get an x squared? An x. What do you square to get a 4? A 2. So when we factor, we use the x and the 2. 1 gets a plus, and 1 gets a minus. All right, it's factored, so we take each factor and set it equal to 0 and solve each of those for x, giving you a negative 2 and a positive 2. All right, so does x really equal a negative 2 and a positive 2? Well, we got to check our answers. So let me just rewrite our equation. Square root of 2x plus 5 minus 1 equals x. First, we check the negative 2. So the square root of 2 times negative 2 plus 5 minus 1, we want to know if that equals a negative 2. Well, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 5. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. Square root of 1 minus 1, which is 1 minus 1. We have 0 equals negative 2. So that did not work out. So I know negative 2 is not an answer. That doesn't mean that 2 is automatically an answer. We do have to still plug that in and check that. So we do the square root of 2 times 2 plus 5 minus 1. We want to know if that equals, see what I did there? A 2. 2 times 2, whoa. There goes Rio, barking at something. All right, so 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we have the square root of 9 minus 1. The square root of 9 is 3. Minus 1, which is 2, equal to 2. And that one did work out. So x equals 2 is our only solution. All right, where's our second? Oh, there it is. All right, so we want to isolate our variable. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. Leaves us with x minus 3 is equal to 2 times the square root of x. All right, so I've been saying to isolate the variable in all of these equations. That would mean I would divide by 2 on both sides. So I'm kind of looking at this side. If I divide this side by 2, it's actually going to leave me with a fraction because x minus 3 wouldn't divide by 2. The x doesn't divide by 2. The 3 doesn't divide by 2. So I'm just going to leave the 2 with the square root of x. I'm still going to square both sides because it's a square root. On the right side, we're going to square both of these. 2 squared is 4. Square root of x squared is x. On the left side, we have a binomial, x minus 3 squared, so we have to FOIL this out. If you FOIL that out, it's going to give you x squared minus 6x plus 9. All right, so here's another equation with x squared and x, so let's get everything on the same side. so that we can try to factor this and see what we get for x. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10x plus 9 equals 0. So we've got this nice little trinomial. Do we have factors of 9 that add up to a negative 10? And hopefully you guys are saying, well, yeah, we do. Negative 9 and negative 1 multiply to negative 9 and add up to negative 10. So then we set each factor equal to 0 and solve each one, and we are getting x equals a positive 9 and a positive 1. All right, so is that really what x equals? Well, your favorite part, let's check our answer. So the original equation is x equals 3 plus 2 times the square root of x. First, I'm going to plug in the 9. Does 9 equal 3 plus 2 times the square root of 9? Well, the square root of 9 is 3, times 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So, oops, look what I just did. That should be a 9. So the first one worked out. So 9 is a solution. So now let's check to see, is 1 also a solution? So does 1 equal 3 plus 2 times the square root of 1? Well, the square root of 1 is 1, times 2 is 2, plus 3 is 5, which does not equal 1. So 1 is not a solution, so our only solution is x equals 9.